Well, hello everybody. Greg Cumming here from Good News for Israel, and we're taking 5. Just taking 5 to Selah, as I love a good cup of coffee. I've got my cup of coffee here to have a coffee with you, and we're going to talk about the Lord, and we're going to talk about continuing on from the last video. If you haven't seen the last one, it's good to have a look at that one because it was a longer one. We certainly took more than 5. We probably took more than 10 actually. But what a subject, the Urim and the Thummim. Today we're looking at the subject of the city of Bethel goes to which tribe, the tribe of which? Who gets this? We're talking about casting lots and the Urim and the Thummim. So Joshua sends all these guys out, brings back the survey records. He has a look at these survey records with the land allotments on them. And he's going to use the Urim and the Thummim to determine who would inherit which block of land. And so he cast lots, first of all, to see who would inherit the land north of Bethel. And in Joshua chapter 16, verse 1, it says, the lot fell to the children of Joseph from the Jordan, by Jericho to the waters of Jericho, on the east to the wilderness that goes up from the Jericho through the mountains of Bethel. See, he's describing the land here from the surveys. Then went out from Bethel to Luz. That indicates that Bethel and Luz are two different places, which is true. Luz is there. Bethel was the mountain east of Luz, but they became one in future times. Passed along to the border of the Archites at Ataroth and went down westward to the boundary of the Japhethites as far as the boundary of Lower Beth Horon to Gezer, and it ended at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh and Ephraim, took their inheritance. So the lot was cast, and that block of land was given to Ephraim. So the tribe of Ephraim received the land just north of Bethel. You go to the post number 64 on our website, and you'll see the map there. Notice that, as I said, Bethel and Luz were separate cities. Even though they have become one in the Bible, Bethel was on the mountain east of Luz. Remember, Abram pitched his tent on the mountain east of Luz. Jacob came to that same place where Abram had pitched his tent and set up an altar, and that's where he had that great dream and called on the name of the Lord and named it Bethel. This is the house of God, but it was the mountain east of Luz. In Scripture, you'll find that they're pretty well said that they're the same now. So Bethel, current day, is El Bireh on the natural southern border of the land allocated to Ephraim. But Bethel was not inside Ephraim's land. That's important. It was a border city, but the border was north of the city. So it was within a different border. So whose border was it? It was a marker for the border of Ephraim. It was just south of their border. So which tribe got Bethel? It's a big city, it's a living city, it's a great city. Well, it tells us, Joshua 18 verse 11, now the lot for the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the territory of their lot came out between the children of Judah in the south and the children of Joseph, which was Ephraim in the north. So Joshua cast lots using most likely the Urim and the Thummim to determine who would get that choice piece of land in the mountains between Judah's portion and Ephraim's portion of land. Why it says Joseph there is Ephraim is Joseph's son. He had 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And so the lot went to the tribe of Benjamin. So in Joshua chapter 18 verse 12, their border was on the north side, began at Jordan. The border went up to the side of Jericho on the north, went up through the mountains westward, ended at the wilderness of Beit Avim. We've looked at that. Go back and have a look at some of those videos. We'll give more description of these wonderful places. The border went over from there towards Luz, to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward, and the border descended to Ataroth Adar, near the hill that lies on the south side of the lower Beth Horon. Then the border extended around the west side to the south from the hill that lies before Beth Horon southward, and it ended at Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath Yearim, a city of the children of Judah. This was on the west side. The south side began at the end of Kiriath Yearim, and the border extended on the west and went out to the spring of the waters of Nephtao. Then the border came down to the end of the mountain that lies before the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is the valley of Rephaim in the north, descended to the valley of Hinnom, to the side of the Jebusite city on the south, which, by the way, was the future Jerusalem, and entered to Enrogel. And then it went, so we're following this boundary line. Just bear with me because, I mean, if you're a historical geologist or archaeologist, this is majorly important to find these boundary lines. And verse 17, it went around from the north, went out to En-Shemesh, and extended down toward Geliloth, which is before the ascent of Adumim, and descended to the stone of Bohar, the son of Reuben. Then it passed along toward the north side of Arabah and went down to the Arabah, which is, of course, on the Jordan River side. And the border passed along the north side of Beth Hoglah. The border ended by the North Bay at the Salt Sea, which is the Dead Sea, at the south end of the Jordan River, where it flows into the Dead Sea. This was the southern boundary. The Jordan was its border. The Jordan River was the border on its east side. And this was the inheritance of the children of who? Benjamin, according to its boundaries all around, according to their families. Now, the cities of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho. Now, listen for the key word. Remember, we're talking about a particular city here, Bethel. The cities of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, Beit Hoglah, Emek Kezez, Beit Araba, Zemarim, Bethel. Verse 23. And there are others. We won't go into them. But 12 cities with their villages. And it mentions Gibeon. These are famous cities. Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Cheripah, Moza, etc. And, interestingly enough, Jabus. If you know anything about your scriptures, Jabus became Jerusalem. So Jerusalem was given to not Judah, but Benjamin. And so it says, this was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. So which blessed tribe got the ancient living city of Luz or Bethel? It was Benjamin. Only God could have arranged this situation because, of course, with hindsight, we know that the tribes of Judah and Benjamin became the kingdom of Judah, while the other tribes became the northern kingdom of Israel. And I really am always blessed when I see the hand of the Lord so clearly in these important things. It makes me personally know that he is in the detail and that he's directing the affairs of men and protecting his covenant to ensure that it's not broken. So, yes, and even Jerusalem, we find there in verse 28, or the city of Jabus, which became Jerusalem, was part of Benjamin. So that was the allocation made known to Joshua by God himself. How? By casting lots. So take 5 and Selah. That was an interesting lesson. And I pray that you enjoyed that as much as I do. I always love to learn about the Bible. It gives me great confidence and wonder of the Lord himself. Take 5, Selah, spend some time with him. Make sure you subscribe so that you can know when other videos are coming out. Increase your knowledge of the Bible in this way and the understanding of the Bible and become knowledgeable in these things. Well, that's it from me. The Lord bless you. I pray that you have a fantastic day. Bye for now.